Warren Buffett has molded the 80-20 rule to make him the most successful investor in the world. He dedicates 80% of his time to learning and thinking, and 20% to acting on that knowledge. This method has helped him obtain an extraordinary $160 billion in net worth. But he wasn't born like this. He had to change his ways and learn to be successful. In fact, 97% of people waste months learning skills the wrong way, stuck in tutorial hell, following outdated advice, and quitting right before their breakthrough moment. The difference between average learners and elite skill masters isn't talent or luck. It's understanding how your brain actually works. In this video, I'm breaking down the science-backed 80-20 method of rapid skill acquisition that top performers use to master anything in record time, along with a framework that makes learning any skill 10 times faster. Chapter 1. The Passive Learning Trap. Let's be honest, we've all fallen for the passive learning trap. You watch tutorials, read books, listen to podcasts, thinking, yeah, I totally get this. But when it's time to actually do the thing, your mind goes blank. What's happening here is what neuroscientists call the illusion of competence. According to a 2022 study from Stanford University, watching someone perform a skill activates similar neural pathways as when you perform it yourself. Your brain is tricking you into thinking you know how to do something just because you've seen it done. It feels productive, but it's a complete illusion. Consider this. When was the last time you truly learned something difficult? Did it happen while rewatching the same tutorial for the 15th time? No. It happened when you were forced to figure it out yourself. This is because of a powerful concept called desirable difficulty. When learning feels too easy, your brain doesn't actually grow. But when learning feels hard, when you're forced to think, struggle, and make mistakes, that's when real growth happens. It's like trying to build muscle by watching workout videos instead of actually lifting weights. Your brain, similar to your muscles, needs resistance to grow stronger. So here's the first rule of rapid skill mastery. Stop consuming and start creating. Learning happens through action, not observation. Chapter 2. The Power of Active Recall. Here's a fact that sounds too simple to be true. You learn faster by testing yourself rather than by reviewing information. This is called active recall, and it's possibly the most powerful learning technique that almost nobody uses. When you force yourself to recall something from memory instead of passively reviewing it, your brain works 10 times harder, locking in that knowledge like a mental save file. So like and subscribe so you save this video to your YouTube save file. Back to the video. And research proves it. In a landmark study published in Science magazine, students who studied by taking self-tests outperformed those who simply reviewed notes by a massive 50%. Self-testing ignites a memory retrieval process in your brain, which essentially tells it, this information is important. Don't forget it. How can you apply this? Stop rereading notes or rewatching lessons. Instead, test yourself constantly. If you're learning guitar, after seeing a chord chart once, look away and try to play it from memory. If you're studying a language, don't reread vocabulary lists. Try to recall the words without looking. If you're learning coding, close the tutorial and try to write the function yourself. This feels harder, and that's the point. Struggle is where the growth happens. Remember, if you're not being tested, you're not really learning. Chapter 3. The 80-20 rule of skill acquisition. Most people think learning means collecting as much information as possible before starting. They want to know everything before they try anything. This is why people get stuck in tutorial hell, endlessly consuming content without actually applying it. But here's the truth. All that knowledge is completely useless until it's applied in the real world. Elite learners understand something called the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. This principle, discovered by economist Wilfredo Pareto, shows up everywhere in life. 20% of language vocabulary allows you to understand 80% of conversations. 20% of programming concepts solve 80% of coding problems. 20% of musical techniques create 80% of the songs you hear. The key insight for rapid learning is this. 80% of your results come from just 20% of what you study. This is why some people seem to learn ridiculously fast. They're not wasting time on the 80% of information that barely matters. They identify the vital 20% and focus exclusively on mastering that first. For example, if you're learning Spanish instead of memorizing 5,000 words, learn the 1,000 most common words that make up 80% of everyday speech.
Hola, gracias. ¿Cómo estamos, hermosa?
The goal isn't to know everything before you start. The goal is to start right away. Use knowledge in practice and fill in the gaps as you go. You don't have to memorize every chess strategy to start playing chess. Learn one strategy, try it out. Fail, then adjust. This approach speeds up learning because you're not wasting time on unnecessary theory that's destined to be forgotten anyway. Chapter 4. The Feedback Loop Accelerator. Have you ever found yourself grinding away at a new skill for hours, but feeling like you're not improving at all? The task feels endless. No matter how much time you invest, your skill level is hard stuck. And the worst part? You don't know why. That's where feedback loops come in. Think of feedback loops as your learning GPS. Without them, you can be as consistent as you want. But if you're heading in the wrong direction, all that effort means nothing. A feedback loop is simply a cycle of action, results, analysis, adjustment. Ever tried flirting? You hit a, "Are you French? Because I fell for you." She gives a polite chuckle and looks away. You realize pickup lines only work on TikTok. Next time you ask a genuine question. Feedback loops come in two boxes. 1. Positive feedback loops. These reinforce behavior. When you succeed, your brain says, "Whatever I just did, I should do more of that." 2. Negative feedback loops. These correct mistakes. When you mess up, your brain receives an alert saying, "Mistake. That wasn't it. Try something different." The biggest mistake learners make is avoiding feedback because it's uncomfortable. We'd rather not know that our singing is off key or that our essay needs work. But avoiding feedback is the number one reason people stay bad at things. When someone says, "I've been doing this for years, but I'm still not good," it's often because they've been avoiding feedback. Like the guy practicing on the guitar for hours while strumming every chord wrong, but never correcting. It's the classic 10,000 hour misconception. People think if they just put in more hours, they'll get better. But if you're practicing the wrong technique for 10,000 hours, all you've done is master the art of doing it wrong. Here's how to create effective feedback loops. 1. Self-correction. Record yourself doing the skill and watch it back. You'll cringe, but you will also see what you're doing wrong. 2. External feedback. Get someone experienced to give specific advice. They have years of knowledge, so use it. 3. Deliberate practice. Focus on one thing at a time until you get it right. Don't be a jack of all trades and master of none. Remember, the faster you get feedback, the faster you learn. Chapter 5. The Expert. Shortcut. Let's say you wanted to climb Mount Everest. Would you rather go with a group of beginners who've never seen snow or with experienced mountaineers? Seems obvious, right? The same logic applies to learning any skill at lightning speed. You level up faster when you surround yourself with experts. Experts aren't just seasoned and knowledgeable people. They're walking, talking cheat codes. They shorten the learning curve, expose you to methods you'd never think of on your own, and most importantly, they show you what you're doing wrong, which is way more valuable than knowing what you're doing right. The first thing experts do is expose your blind spots, things you're doing wrong but can't see yourself. No amount of self-reflection will reveal them. Imagine you've been practicing boxing for months. You've got the gloves, the stance, the punches, but something feels off. A real coach watches you for 10 seconds and says, "Dude, your rear foot is too flat. You're losing all your power." One tiny adjustment. Suddenly, your punches have snapped. That's the power of someone who's been there. One tweak. Instant improvement. You'd never figured it out alone. When you're learning on your own, you're stuck in guesswork mode. You try a method, fail, try another, fail again. It works eventually, but it's painfully slow. Experts skip this step for you. They've already made those mistakes and know the exact path to follow. Being around experts also creates positive pressure. When surrounded by people better than you feel slightly uncomfortable. But that discomfort is one of the most powerful forces for growth. This pressure forces you to rise to the occasion. Your brain doesn't want to be the weakest link in the tribe, so it works harder to keep up. If you can't find in-person experts, find online communities, YouTube channels, or courses taught by true masters. Not just popular content creators. Conclusion. To wrap up, the path to mastering any skill at lightning speed comes down to 5 key principles. 1. Replace passive learning with active creation and action. 2. Use the power of active recall to make information stick. 3. Focus on the vital 20% that delivers 80% of results. 4. Create rapid feedback loops. 5. Surround yourself with experts. If you apply even one of these principles, you'll learn faster than 90% of people. Apply all 5, you'll be unstoppable. What skill are you trying to master right now? Drop it in the comments below, and I'll share specific ways to apply these principles to your situation. If this video helped you, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who's struggling to learn a new skill. Until next time, remember, the difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't talent, it's action.